You are listening to the Profitable Content Creator Podcast. This is the place where content creators come to learn how to create profitable content that positions themselves as an authority and grows their online businesses. Get ready to take your content to a whole new level with your host, Kristen Poborski.
Have you ever had the experience where you spent a bunch of money, like thousands of dollars, on an expensive course only to get in there and realize you had no help getting through this massive course? I don't know about you, but I certainly have, and I found it extremely frustrating and not motivating to get through the course. So if you are a life or business coach or a healer or a course creator who is looking for help to create a better experience for their students and get results from your online course, I've got you covered today with my 3 tips. So here is an overview of what I'm going to cover today. And at the very end, I'm going to answer 3 questions, actually 2 questions, no, 3 questions. All right. So tip number 1, and I'm going to go through this in detail later. I'm just going to give you a little overview, is all about onboarding experiences. You definitely need one of those. What you need to include in your program so that your students get the key concepts and can navigate through them better and you can interact with them, all right? And then what to ask your students for during your sessions so that you know how to improve your course and to help them get results, okay? Then when I'm done, I'm going to answer 3 questions that are questions I get all the time from my students in my Smart Simple courses that sell program. One is, what do I need to include in my onboarding sequence for my course? And why do I need to create a follow-up sequence for my course? Why do I need that? Okay, and I'm going to kind of give you tips on what you should include in there. And then, why is implementation so important? Why is it so important for my students to implement what I teach? And I'm going to give you some tips too on how to get them implementing from my own experience with my own students. All right. So before we dive into today's subject, I am going to just do a quick introduction for those of you who do not know who I am. I am Kristen Poborski. I am a content expert, and I help my students and life and business coaches and healers create content for social media and for their courses so that they can get more leads, more customers, and scale their businesses without working longer hours. Now, I have been working with my clients and my students since 2014, creating online courses. So I've seen a lot. I've been around a lot. Back in the day, it was just a recorded call. It was so simple and password protected pages. And now, as you know, the course industry has grown and it's expected to grow by $38 billion over the next couple years. So it is really exploding, and there are so many new tools and platforms for course creators. It is so much easier to create a course that sells really fast. But what's really important is not just selling your course, but it's getting your students through it and getting them results, wow results, okay? So that's what we're gonna really talk about today in this video. So if you, the first one is you want to create a awesome onboarding experience, okay? I've learned this from my students, and this is the easiest way for them to get off to a quick start. So I usually do a welcome video, and then I give them a roadmap. I give them a roadmap of what steps to go through and where to find the content, right? Super easy to create that for them. All right, I give them key dates. I tell them what to expect and when. And the reason why I give them key dates is that I teach workshops all the time, and they go to those workshops, and that's where they learn their key concepts, okay? And then I use that roadmap as my path for their emails that they get every single week. So I try to guide them through that roadmap and keep them on course and encourage them, right? That is so important to give them the roadmap so they know where to do and where to go. And then they have that follow-up sequence that goes along with it, okay? So number 2, what should you include in your course to help them get results and have a wow experience? This is one thing that I've learned. I do workshops and live coaching sessions. Couple things. I love workshops because it helps me. I teach some of the same stuff and I walk them through it step by step in these workshops, and they get so much more out of the key concepts. Now, I don't teach everything in my course, just the key concepts that I know that they struggle with, and I do them quarterly, and they love it, and it gets them excited and learning, okay? That is key. Of course, coaching sessions, so important, both that and the live workshops, because not just for them to learn, but for me to learn from them and ask them questions, because that really dives into number 3 is asking your students for feedback. This is how you get better at what you do, improve your course, and even get them better results, okay? The other thing that I like to do is give them an implementation, and that is help them with their implementation. We're going to go through that in one of the questions later. But if you include that in your program, an opportunity to help them implement, it is huge, okay? So now you know pretty much the 3 steps. You want to have a great onboarding experience. You want to be all throughout the program. You want to be having live coaching sessions where they can come and ask your questions. I don't really teach during them, but that's what I use my workshops for. I use the workshops for the teaching part, okay? And then the third thing is when you're in your sessions, ask them questions, ask them for feedback, ask them what they need help with, and that will help you get them better results. You're going to have a better idea of what kinds of things you need to include in your program, because I already had an onboarding experience, but I made it even better because my 2 students told me they needed that roadmap. So I started out just with an onboarding sequence and a couple of emails. Then I created that roadmap, and I consistently show up every single week with an email that is helpful for them on how to keep moving through the course. And that has made all of the difference for them, okay? So if you need help creating your first course outline, I've got a mini training waiting for you. If you want to get it done using my milestone framework, the link is down below. It'll help you get your course outline out of your head on paper with all the steps in less than 30 minutes. So grab the link below. Okay, so let's dive into the first question. So question number 1 is, what do I need to include in my onboarding sequence for my course? Okay, so first thing I give them is immediately when they sign up, they get a sign up email. And in that email, I usually do a video kind of telling them welcome, what to expect, and where to go next. Then the next thing they're going to get after that is the roadmap. I direct them to go get the roadmap, a roadmap that tells them how to get through the course and so on and so forth, right? So that's pretty much, they get that immediately when they start. Then weekly, after that, I do emails, but I have a special onboarding. The first coaching session is all about onboarding, helping them navigate around it, how to find everything, how to use the roadmap, things like that. If you do those 3 things, you will have an amazing onboarding experience for your students, because the one thing you want them to do is to get in there and start taking advantage or learning all your stuff. You want them to get in there and start learning. So many people buy courses and never work on them, okay? Or they might get into it a month or so and fall behind. So that's why it's always good to give them opportunities to come work with you, implement things like that, so that they can keep moving ahead and they don't feel behind, okay? And don't try to, try to give it to them at smaller pieces and avoid giving them too much all at once, right? They will love you for that. The easier it is to start getting results faster, the better experience that they're going to get and the more motivated they're going to be to finish your course. Okay, number 2, why do I need to create a follow-up sequence for my online course? Okay, so the first one is it keeps you top of mind, keeps your course top of mind, keeps you top of mind with them so that they're more motivated to keep working on the course, okay? That is number 1. Number 2, it encourages them because you might get frustrated. You never know where they're going to be, right, in the course. So that's why the weekly kind of email, checking in, giving them, reminding them, oh, you've got a coaching session, come to it, you're going to get your questions answered. Doesn't matter if any kind of encouragement is really good for them. And number 3, you kind of want to tell them what to do based on where they should be in the course and give them encouragement. It doesn't matter if you're behind, you've got time, right? So just keep them slow at first, and then as they build momentum in the course, you can push them a little bit faster. Okay, so that's it. So this is the other question that I get. Why is getting my students to implement so important as a course creator? Well, let me tell you the first one. Here is the biggest thing. It's the key to getting results. You can't get results if you just consume the course. So many people buy courses, consume them, maybe not all the way, just a little bit, and then go on to the next thing because they get all excited at the beginning and then they kind of it loses its luster after a while, right? Those are people that are quick starts. They're not finishers, they're quick starts. I'm married to one of those. He loves to start stuff. He doesn't like to finish it. A lot of people are like that. So if you give them an opportunity or hold a space for them where they can come and work in an accountability group and implement, key to getting results, okay? It is so important. Plus, you want feedback. You want your students to get results. You want testimonials, case studies, because this is how you're going to sell more courses if you're getting results. And it's also good because you're getting gratified because you know that your stuff works, right? So that's what implementation is so important. And giving the space for it by having an implementation session or a focus work session makes it that much easier. And I've done that with my client, my students, and it's really helping them get through the course material, develop the muscles that they need to have so that they can transform themselves into content creators, because it's not necessarily a natural thing to do, right? And I tell them step by step how to do it is made all the difference. So if you can implement something like that so that your students implement in your course, you're going to get more people finishing your course and getting awesome results. Okay, so that's why it's so important, okay? I want to just finish this up and ask you if you are struggling with your course outline, or you got one in your head and you want to get it out fast, it's your first course, your 50th course, I don't know what. I have this awesome milestone framework that I teach, and I'm giving it away for free. It's how to create your course outline in 30 minutes or less. The link is right below in the notes. Go grab it and get your course out of your head and onto paper. It'll make all the rest of it so much easier.
You've been listening to the Profitable Content Creator Podcast, where content creators go to learn how to take their content creation to the next level. If you love the Profitable Content Creator Podcast, we'd love for you to subscribe, rate, and give us a review on iTunes. Until next time.